What's up, guys and gals? Today's video is supposed to be an informational, kind of educational video on some tips and tricks that have helped me catch more fish in the springtime. So we're at full-time springtime here in Michigan as far as bass fishing goes. Right now we're at water temps around, for inland lakes, somewhere between 55 to 60. However, we've been getting a lot of cold fronts. We've also been getting cold nights, so we've been getting nights getting down into the upper 30s, into the 40s. In our daytime temps, somewhere around 50 to 60. So we're looking kind of for that next big wave of heat to come through, along with some nice clear weather. That'll probably pull up more fish on bed. But for today's video, we wanted to focus on those pre-spawn fish. We've never been one to really want to deal with the spawning fish. We know they get enough pressure. So we want to go through some things today. We want to go through, how do I break down a lake for specifically pre-spawned fish, exactly locating them, and then how do I present the bait to them, right? So I'm going to go through a few different types of lures that I would use for this time of year. So let's get after it. Okay, so this portion of the video is meant to be kind of informative on how do I go about identifying the key areas that we're going to have the most pre-spawn bass. So if I have Humminbird electronics, I think this is one of the most important, but also one of the easiest things to do. So you can start by identifying your depth, colors, and highlight. I like to look for that 4 to 6 foot of water, so I'm going to highlight that range. That'll be kind of this pre-spawn area. So this will be places at mouths of creeks, places up against, you know, some of the canals and things that they'll go up and spawn in here in the next couple weeks. So I'm going to start with these kind of areas. So let's go to a lake specifically that we can look at kind of what this looks like. Okay, so here's an example of what I'm looking at for these kind of areas. If you can see here, all the shallow area in red. In the summertime, that's actually usually things like lily pads where we have really thick submerged grass and things like that. It actually buds up into some reeds and things like that. So you can see pretty much this whole back area is all spawning grounds. So if I scroll up, kind of look at this, you can kind of see here, this is going to be a set kind of like pinch point or a spot where they might start staging to get back here to spawn. I'm not saying that bass don't spawn deeper than 3. This is just what I'm using to locate majority of the pre-spawners. So I'm going to kind of cover areas like this flat here. So if I scroll up, you can kind of see this is all a big flat here in that 3 to 5 feet range. And I'm going to zone in specifically on areas within this flat. You see there's a couple little ditches and humps and things of that nature around here, so hopefully this helps. You can tell by looking at a lake visually too. You can go out to the lake, you can try to understand where the bays are. So my understanding or guidance for this would be to basically find the mouths of those bays, find the access points. Those are going to be kind of where fish are staging up before they head up to spawn. So I hope that helps. Let's go into baits. Okay, so for this time of year, there's 2 main baits that I like to use to target these pre-spawn fish. Not saying there are other baits that don't work. These are just baits that have worked for me and baits that I am confident throwing. So my first bait is going to be simply a trap, a lipless crankbait. You can see this one's got quite a bit of wear and tear on it. It's caught me a ton of fish this year. And the beauty about this is, even with the treble hooks, the lipless still gets through the grass pretty good. So my best piece of advice is when you're finding grass clumps and you're hitting grass, don't rip it away. Just give it a nice little twack, get it out of that grass, and be ready for a bite right after that. So lipless is definitely a great bait to use here in the pre-spawn. And let's go to our other option. Second bait is another staple I forgot to mention with the lipless. The lipless is actually a bait I use all year long. It doesn't only come in that craw color, it also comes in different shades of bait fish, whether it's bluegill, perch, things of that nature. So lipless bait is actually a bait that'll work all year long, and the added benefit of the lipless is you can adjust the height based on your cadence and your reeling speed, things of that nature. So a lipless is actually really versatile. But my other bait that I'm grabbing this time of year is a Z-Man JackHammer. You can see here, this is in the Fire Craw color, and I have a little pocket chunk trailer on it. I feel this time of year you don't want something too aggressive as far as a trailer. You just want the JackHammer chatterbait head to do its work and make its wonder. This is also going to be very good because of the color. So we'll say sub 50 or in very cold water, these crawfish are actually going through what they call a molting pattern. So in the molting pattern, they're going to turn more from an olive green to this more brighter, vibrant red. So that's something that these fish are feeding up on before they go up to spawn. So I find matching the hatch with that color is great, because once the bluegills aren't up on bed yet, they're not up shallow in their upper 60 weathers, they're going to be feeding a lot on craws. So this red color really imitates the craws that are around for that time. So let's roll the clip. So I hope today's video is helpful for you. The whole idea was to be kind of educational, informative, and to give more tips and tricks on how to be more successful on the water. So the pre-spawn is definitely a great time to catch a big fish, catch a lot of fish. So I urge anyone and everyone to capitalize these next few weeks. Especially these fish are going to be really on the feed before they go up to spawn, full-blown spawn mode here in Michigan. So I encourage you, take your kids, take your wife, take yourself, however it may be. There's plenty of state parks that have lots of piers, shorelines, things of that. If you don't have a boat or a kayak, totally fine. There's going to be a lot of fish up shallower this time of year. So now's a good time to go do that. And not only are you getting out catching fish, but you're also beating the crowds and the crazy drunks that are out in the summer. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you are new to the channel, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe, P. Ricky Fishing. We're going to have a lot more content to come this year. We've been very blessed with a good season. We've been kind of fishing freely. I actually dumped all my waypoints beginning of the year, and I'm kind of fishing free mind, and it's really helping with my decision making. So I hope the same for you. I hope you challenge yourself, however it may be, to be a better angler. And let's just all do our best to be better people in today's world. And you all stay blessed.